would like to bring. Thank you very much.
It's gonna be one of them, boys.
The trouble is, when I put the chalk on the table, I can't put. You see where it is? Too many.
Don't put the chalk on the table then. Keep it in your pocket.
Doing my split it time allows. Well,
Are you? I say what's allowed.
So here we are back with the live action, and this a match from losers round 4. Carl Morris against Stefan Risidi, and I'm going to tell you right now, here's my prediction. I've got no idea who's going to win, but there's going to be fireworks. I can smell the sulfur and the saltpeter in the air. There are going to be fireworks.
First free. Carl Morris to break. Time running.
Carl Morris wins the leg, and we'll break in the first frame. No, I could be mistaken, but I don't ever recall doing a commentary on Carl Morris before. I'm not sure if he's been on the main arena table. May have been in the last event when I wasn't here, but I don't think he's been on this table yet. So the first time I've ever commentated on Carl, and it's quite odd really, because I remember watching Pool on TV when it was on Sky Sports back in, well, 25 years ago, early 90s. And I remember watching Carl Morris quite clearly when he had hair, but didn't we all back then? Well, I didn't. Mine had already fallen out by then. And he's been a tough, gritty opponent in every match he's played. There you see the small scar just on the side of his head. And for those who are not aware or don't know Carl, he is clinically deaf. He has no hearing whatsoever. And what they've done is they've put a little implant on the side of his skull, which is what you can see just behind his ear. And it emits a frequency. So if you were talking to Carl, he hears it as a buzzing in his brain, a kind of frequency that he hears in his head. And when he's looking at you, also he's then able to lip read what you're saying, and it makes it much easier for him to hear. And you will see When the referee has to alert him to the 10 seconds, she'll go across and tap the table, so he is aware. That's a nice shot, really well controlled. And Carl Morris, just reeling back the years, this is what he did 20, 25, 30 years ago. Top class player. And what a great break to open his account. So, the man, Carl Morris, his nickname is Houdini. Age, I think he's now 42. He owns his own business, Carl Morris Properties. He's a property developer and landlord, I believe. He's married with 2 children, Olivia and James. His manufacturer of his cue is unknown. He bought it back in 1993 for £20. It weighed 12.4 ounces and had no ferrule. He uses a blue diamond tip. He was world champion back in 1998, the youngest world champion to date, the world #1. 1998 through to 2001, multiple UK international tour winner, multiple professional event winner, 400 plus local, regional and international titles. So a glittering career behind him. And that world championship back in 98. Started playing age 9 back in 1986 after being introduced to the game by his late father, the former England manager Jim Morris. After being beaten in the first round by a lad he didn't particularly like, he was then determined to practice hard for the next championships the following month, in which he came runner-up. His father Jim was his inspiration at the beginning. His encouragement and ability to instill a positive and never say die attitude stood him in good stead, and that characteristic remains to this day. In his early teens he used to practice with a guy called Tony Gray, who'd been Kent's #1 for many years, until he knocked him off of his perch. Tony used to never say anything or explain anything, which left Carl to question every shot he played. And that's probably why he's got a great tactical mind now, because he was always questioning. Probably most respected Darren Appleton. And he says he respects him so much because he didn't really have any natural talent, but he's achieved absolutely everything in the game through hard work and dedication. And gone on to incredible success. He had a break from the game and came back specifically really to play in this series. And he said one of the reasons he fell out of love was because he won everything there was to win at every level, and eventually he was just turning up. And really only just to share a room with his best friend Phil Harrison for a catch-up and not really to play the pool. And Then the Supreme event came along, the Supreme Series, and he got a newfound determination. He wanted to win an event. And his anticipation for the series was just hoping that it would invoke the feelings that he used to have as a young kid, turning up to events with butterflies in his stomach, excited, just having that right amount of nerves to help you in your game. When asked about a unique story, he said there's too many to mention. He's been struck by lightning. He once trekked to the North Pole. He ran up a £1,300 telephone bill despite being deaf. And then he didn't have to pay it. He said he's got loads of stories, and if you ask him, he'll tell you all about them. He does love a good chat. This is really good stuff from Carl Morris. Toughest player he's ever played against. He singled out Darren Appleton because he's only got a 40% success rate against him, which is far and away the worst success rate that he's got against any other player. And the other one he mentioned was Jason Twist. He could never manage to win a decider against him. So that's Carl Morris, an interesting profile. Good to see somebody really take their time to give an in-depth insight into themselves, because many of the players don't do that. His opponent is Stefan Risidi. His nickname Ratty. He's aged 31. He's married with 2 children, Riley and Lucas. He uses a Jason Owen cue with a Kamui 9mm tip. He's a ex-England international, World Rules European and World Team Champion, Under 21s 2017 #1 ranked player on the Northwest Tour, multiple money match winner on a current 14-match winning streak. And some of the names he's beat: Chris Day, Matty Smith, Mark Singleton, Aidan Hughes, Andrew Patchett, Ben Clayton, to name but a few. Premier Pool Series winner and #1 ranked player. Also a Q School entrant for World Snooker. Very good snooker player. Started playing because he enjoyed watching Stephen Hendry and Ronnie O'Sullivan, and started playing when he was 15 years old. His biggest influence has been Chris Melling, who's a very close friend, and he grew up practicing and watching Chris, and he liked his attacking style of play. Your favourite Q Sport player is Mick Hill, because he's such a solid all-round game. He would like to win a world title. When asked about a funny or unique story, he said he quit the game for about 2 years, age 20, and he came back and he made his first 147 just a couple of months later. And when asked about any other talent that he may have, he said he can drink 2 bottles of Budweiser with his hands behind his head. I'm going to have to ask him about that one. I want to see it. I know it's probably going to cost me 2 bottles of Budweiser, but I'd like to see that happen. Carl is, I believe, 42 years old. Question from the watchers. And he's reeling back the years. I'd like to know the average age in this event, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if it was late 30s. There's a lot of players in their 40s. You think about Farnsworth, McCartney, McHale, Gareth Hibbett. I think he's 49 or somewhere around about that age. Melling, Ronan McCarthy. There's so many players around about that age, and even the youngsters are. There's quite a few youngsters who are kind of late 20s. There's not many of the older generation, not many over 50s. So I would think the average age is probably somewhere around about mid to late 30s. It'd be an interesting little stat to know. I don't think anyone's actually going to sit down and list 128 players' ages and work out the mean, but this is really good stuff from Carl Morris. Mistake-free at the moment, and really quickly found the pace of this table, and a ripple of applause, appreciating what they're seeing. I think Carl Morris is a great player. I used to love watching him back in the day, and I've seen him a few times in the series. Just had a chance to watch some of his games. Some really interesting scores from around the arena. Over on table 11, Gareth Hibbett is playing Clint Jansen. Gareth currently 5-4 ahead. Paul Riley is 3 each against Matt Brearley. Adam Marlowe 5-2 against Craig Brown. Carl O'Donoghue already through against Rob Warren 8-4. Craig Marsh through against Ben Tanner 8-2. Ryan Fleming 2 each with Arf and Dad. Arfin sent to the losers side by Shane Thompson in that Hill game. Look at that frustration from Stefan. Cannot buy a ball off the break. And look, that yellow just hanging over the left middle. How's that not dropped? Carl just looking now to see whether he can just clip that yellow in. If he can't, he can. I think he probably can. But if not, you could play it as a plant. Still an open table. Or he could attack it from higher up. It'll definitely go. So he's going to choose yellows. Just continuing with those scores. Jez Graham is trailing Jake Dillon Newlove 4-3. Jimmy Croxton 5-all against Toby Bolt. Craig Waddingham 7-4 against Jordan Church, and Jordan Church was one of my picks to win this tournament, but he's on the verge of elimination. Greg Batten 3 each against Sean Chipperfield. Gav Robinson 1-all against Sanjay Patel. Ben Roden 4-2 against David McNamara. Dylan Leary 2-1 against Carl Sutton, and Callum Singleton 4-3 against Darryl Whitworth. That gets us up to date with all of the 16 matches that, well, actually there is one other match which is still going on from losers round 3, and who would have thought that this game was still going on. It's been going for nearly 3 hours, and it's Liam Dunster and Lee Clough. They're locked up at 7 frames each. Gareth Hibbett just won another frame against Clint Jansen and leads 6 frames to 4. Gareth Hibbert is a real feature in this tournament. A real feature in any tournament he plays in, to be honest. So far we've seen virtually some flawless pull from Carl. Frustration from Stefan because he can't buy a ball off the break. And both players, they're the kind of people they wear their heart on their sleeve, really emotional players. I mean, it's easy for Carl at the moment because he's winning 3-0. But you saw the emotion that Stefan showed. That one's gone considerably too far from Carl. So he's now looking at where he wants to be. This needs to be a really good shot because he's going to have to dig into this, screw it, middle bag, screw off the side rail. Well, no, it's way too much angle. He's going to have to go top corner. What a great shot. Great pot. I was going to say there was way too much angle to go middle. I thought he was going to try and screw to the side rail and back out for a moment, but he took the long distance option. Made a great pot. Now giving himself a chance. He's got this half ball snick into the corner. White's going to be travelling. Working out the angle it's going to come off at. Really busy player, isn't he? He's like, looks like he's walking on hot coals. Never stops moving. Let's not come out how he wanted. Just hit it a bit too thin. You could see it went to the left of the pocket, and that meant that he came a little bit thinner and contacted the red on the way through, and it's all he's got is a double. He's looking where on the side where he needs to contact. This is a very tough shot because he also needs to get the white out of the way. Because if he leaves the white on the natural path, it will probably be a double kiss. Even at 3-0 up, he's absolutely kicking himself. Doesn't want to let Stefan into this game at all. Just wants to keep his foot firmly on his neck. Doesn't want to give an inch. And this now is a decent opportunity for Stefan. He's got this one tricky ball on the right hand rail, but he's got the red just next to the black, and it kind of off his natural shape to get that red out. So he's going to be playing red to left corner. Actually, he's going to play the double. A little bit surprised about this. Absolutely should be getting it, and doesn't. Played it as a bit of a shot to nothing, knowing that Carl didn't really have a shot, but he'll be going up and down the table. And to be quite honest, I expect him to go close with this. Kind of just a bit surprised that Stefan didn't. Yeah. Well, got the second prize. especially if this is not a touching ball. She's called touching ball, so it means Stefan can just play away, and I think he'll just be playing to bottom rail, back up again. Try and leave Carl. Oh, he went for an attacking option. That does surprise me. If that was a touching ball, I thought he may have just tried to run off the bottom cushion and back up to the top cushion. I guess he felt that the pocket was big enough that Carl could go the one cushion, escape again, and he'd be odds on to pot it. So 4-0 to Carl Morris. Things looking easy for him right now. Paul Riley 4-3 up on Matt Brearley. Jez Graham and Jake Dillon-Euler 4-all. Craig Waddingham on the hill against Jordan Church 7-6. Sean Chipperfield now 5-3 up against Greg Batten. So on the conclusion of this match, we will be back into the winners' side and winners' qualification. And the 4-string games will be Shane Thompson versus Mark Farnsworth on table 4. Josh Kane versus Mick Hill on table 3. That's a really good matchup. Tom Cousins versus Mark Fleming on table 11. And Declan Brennan versus Scott Gillespie on table 16. What a break. What timing. Stefan coming in behind Carl to have a look to see whether this red passes the yellow to bottom corner, because if it does, these are as good as gone. So this now all about whether this red passes the bottom corner. I'd have to say it doesn't. He's got a nice angle now where you can just, if it doesn't go, then he could have just stunned down on top of it and nudged it out the way. Just left himself the gap for the top corner. So he clearly has a plan. overhit that. Looks disappointed with himself. Looks really frustrated. Holds his palms to the air, but in all honesty, I think he's okay. I think he can pot the bottom red, and yeah, he's just looking now at what angle he's going to contact that second red. He's just going to hit it on and off the top cushion, and should. If he doesn't hit it too hard, leave himself a shot. Just needs to judge it right. Just overhit it fractionally. Such a clever mind when it comes to the pool table. Yeah, I didn't quite get the contact he was expecting off the back of the yellow. So he's going to go one cushion behind the red and try and kick it into the corner bag. And in all honesty, I expect him to get very close with this. I'd love to know what his plan was for this red. Had things have panned out for him, because I'm certain this doesn't pass into the bottom. And he was close, but again, gives Stefan a gilt-edged chance. He gave Stefan a gilt-edged chance in the last frame, and he couldn't take advantage, can he, this time? Wow. That's okay. Back in pretty much prime position. Just roll this in. Just not happening for Stefan at the moment. Proved what an opponent he is in the earlier events. I'm pretty sure it was event 2 when he won. Event 1 when he won the non-elite for the Calcutta. Got through very deep. And this bit of a hit and hope from Carl. Just basically nailed it as hard as he could to give it every chance to find a bag. Stefan with another chance. That looks perfect. A nice angle now. He can screw out just into the side of the black. Just wants to brush the black ball aside and leave the remaining yellow in the same pocket. There we go. That's more like it. Stefan Risidi gets the score on the board. Gareth Hibbett is 7-5 up against Clint Jansen. Paul Riley 5-3 against Matt Brearley. Matt Brearley's just picked up another one. It's 5-4. Toby Bolt on the hill against Jimmy Croxton. Craig Waddingham has knocked out Jordan Church. Sean Chipperfield on the hill against Greg Batten 7-4.
Frame number 6. Stefan Risidi to break, trailing 4 frames to 1. Time running.
Really not happening for Stefan. Plays a ambitious developing shot to knock the reds out. No. Quite a lot of play left in this frame, given where the two little clusters, one on the left rail, one on the right. Stefan using his extension early in the frame, trying to work out how he can go about this clearance. Needs to find something. Needs a spark of magic. Just something to ignite for him. Carl just choosing to promote one of his yellows. He knows that it will be some ask to clear this table from here. sigh from him as he's left this yellow on the bulk line. Carl just trying to get some cover over that pocket. Take the tactical advantage, try and buy himself some time to remove these yellows from the side rail. Wow. That must have literally been about 0.02 of a second left on the clock. Viv had already called 1 second when he took his shot. Can't believe he's left it that long. Sending the black down into that cluster just to remove one of those balls. Still a lot of traffic, a lot of yellows tied up. Now the reds are starting to come out. There's only this one bad red really. Cannot imagine how close Carl must have been to time fouling then. Must have literally been a couple hundredths of a second. Can just hear a sigh from Stefan, and he hangs his head. Half expected Carl to send one of the yellows down into the other one just below the middle bag, but he obviously feels that he can get on it. maybe just slightly lower than ideal, but won't cause any problems. One cushion. Wow. He's not happy with that for some reason, but I don't know why. I would say he's absolutely perfect. He's got a choice of all three. Don't think he could have landed any better. Could legitimately take any three of these balls. He's going to take the one over the middle first. No, he's not. Fooled me. He's going to take the one over the corner first. Drop the one to right middle. And then drop the one to left middle. Might be just a nuance, but you can kind of see. Holds his hand up as if to say, yeah, that's not quite what I wanted. When he's in fact just about perfect. This is good from Carl Morris. He's now 5 frames to 1 ahead, and it's just not happened at all for Stefan. Greg Batten mounting a comeback on Sean Chipperfield. Now 7-6 down. Greg never knows when he's beaten. Seen it time and time again. He knows it's not over until that last black is sunk, and he will battle every ball. Carl to get frame number 7 underway, as you heard the referee Bevresco call. He has got a beast of a break. Times it really well. Smashes into the front of the back. Now then. I think yellows are favourites here. He's obviously got the 2 yellows to the left-hand rail. Now if the one nearest the rail goes inside the other one, I think we could probably see from the other camera angle. Now you can see that that yellow passes down the inside, so definitely be going yellows. And coming straight across to attack that problem area, and this looks pretty much perfect. You can screw straight back and then subsequently take the other yellow into the same pocket. If he wishes to, he could even stun across onto the red. Pretty sure we'll just see him screw back 6 inches, and you can see where he's cueing the ball, where he wants to be next. Referee calling 10 seconds. I don't know what it is about watching Carl Morris play, but there's something just magical about it. It's I don't know if it's just a nostalgia thing, my memories of watching him many years ago, or whether it's just his presence around the table. Stefan hasn't turned up today, but you could also suggest that a lot of that's down to the way Carl's played. He came straight out of the blocks, and he's never really given Stefan too much of a sniff. Came way too narrow on that shot. Meant to miss the red. Come straight down the side to leave the black into bottom left. You can see from that camera angle it does go to bottom right, so shouldn't be any dramas. It's just a thin quarter ball hit past the red. Fully expect him to pop this. Oh no, that's a massive kick. That really is a massive kick. I mean, you could see the white ball came down and hit the black ball perfectly. Hit the black ball perfectly in the right place, and the black ball just went straight. And you see from his reaction, it was 100% that was a kick. Luckily, he's 5-1 ahead, so he can afford the odd kick, but we have seen games swing on lesser things. Stefan clears, and you can see Carl frustrated in the background, throwing his arm up. Just annoyed. Well, he'll have had bigger and more important kicks throughout his career. Other scores to keep you updated. Look at that Greg Batten game against Sean Chipperfield. Was he 7-4 down? Said he never gives up. 7 each now. Another player who never gives up. Another lad from the West Country, Jez Graham. 6-5 up against Jake Dillon Newlove. The boys from the Southwest putting on a good showing this weekend. Shane Thompson through to win his qualification, playing Mark Farnsworth in the next round. Paul Riley on the hill against Matt Braley. break from Stefan. It's all pretty awkward though, isn't it? Red's tied up. Yellow's tied up. Probably would like to take yellows, but no easy opener. So he had a plan. Tried to break open the top of the table at the same time. And now, obviously he can get through to this yellow along the top rail. Goodness me, it didn't look like he could. And suddenly, with a great chance to go 5-3 when he should have been, bar a massive kick. 6-1 ahead. Sorry, 6-1 behind. How these games swing. And I can tell you that, talking of swinging games, Greg Batten has just beaten Sean Chipperfield 8 frames to 7 from being 7-4 down. What a great comeback. Shows so much determination. Just never lets you down. He's one of the few players, if you had a gun to your head and someone was playing for your life, he's one of the few players I would choose. Just drops. So Liam Dunster has been knocked out. He was 4-1 up against Lee Clough. So another player who never knows when he's beaten. Lee Clough beats Liam Dunster 8 frames to 7. And 5-3. Very different complexion on this game. Carl's just stepped away for a bathroom break, so I'm going to do the same. Not quite what he had planned, but it's okay. And Greg Batten just came over to mention the game against Sean Chipperfield, and basically it was just a ridiculous standard, and neither of them missed the ball. He said Chipperfield was just playing some unbelievable ball, and at 7-4 down he just decided to turn it up a gear and basically not miss a ball to win the match. What a fighter. He's straight back on, and it doesn't get any easier for him because he's now playing Craig Waddingham. Good shot from Carl. Over that distance, just needed the right control. So the referee being strict, sending Carl back to his chair like a school teacher sending a child to the back of the class. He's asked for the ball to be cleaned, and so he doesn't get any kind of tactical advantage. He's not allowed to stand at the table studying the shots, so the ref sends him back to his chair. Not that he's going to get any tactical shots, but you can totally understand after the kick he had earlier why he's getting the white cleaned. And Carl thought she'd finished and started walking forward, and she sent him back to his chair again. Get over there. Yeah, you can absolutely understand why he had it cleaned. Simple drop in, but even so. 6 frames to 3 now.
Frame number 10. Stefan Risidi trailing 6 frames to 3.
Another must-win frame for Stefan if he's going to get back into this match. And that break is about as good as it gets. He's left a little series of dollies, of which he's pretty much underhit the first one he's played. Shouldn't be a problem. You can still cut it to middle if you want. You can go long. The red to the left does drop in to the middle. I'm deciding to go down table. I'll come back up and deal with that one in a minute. So just needs to be careful over his positional shot here. Think. Screw it back and dispatch this red. Nothing to do with the white. Very nice clearance. All in about 45 seconds.
Frame number 11, call Morris to break, leading 6 frames to 4. Time running.
Sorry, mate. One time I got bloody ball.
Another massive break, and there's a massive frame. 6-4. If Stefan can win this from being a mile behind. Yeah. He's back on serve, back on break. That's not gone very nice. Not gone nice at all. He's going to go for the cut on this red, which will release the other one. It's a tough shot now. And he looks like he looks like a different player, doesn't he? Still getting no luck. I can tell you over on one of the other tables, James Graham has just potted the winning ball, and he knocks out Jake Newlove 8 frames to 5, and he progresses through to round 5 on the loser's side. Wow, that was can only be described as an audacious shot, can't it? It's jacking up on the ball, the length of the table like that is low percentage, but he's not left very much at all. He's literally got a tiny little nub of chalk. That chalk has seen a lot of use. You can see it on the table just near the right corner pocket. That chalk's seen better days. Do you reckon that's a lucky chalk or something? Look at it. Nothing left of it. What about this cluster of 5 balls? A shot from Carl just releases one of them, which in turn clears the path for the yellow to centre, and Stefan, in playing this red, is going to open up the other yellow. Oh wow, I'll be honest, I didn't think for 1 second he could get through to that, so that was careless from Carl. And who would have thought that this game would be back in the balance? Oh no, that is incredibly bad luck. He's just standing there looking at the table thinking, what have I done? I'm fairly certain that a black cat has crossed his path this morning. Nothing more really for Carl to do than just knock this yellow out into open play. In fact, he just pushes the red onto the top cushion, so gives himself a safety net. Stefan can't see. He's not had his chances in this match. Carl just talking to himself again. Just grouching about something. Oh my goodness. Trying to force that into the middle bag. Certainly didn't expect that miss, but that really shows the value of moving that red onto the top cushion earlier. So he's going to look to cut this along the rail. And this is one of these shots where you go cushion first with a lot of right-hand side and kick the ball on the rail. Oh, he didn't. He most definitely didn't. He didn't think that shot was on for a second, so he's just gone for the smash. And he's nailed it. Well, both players have had chances in this frame. How about this black? No pressure. No pressure. Great shot. Basically back on serve, and I think Carl Morris has just stood there shaking his head, wondering what he's done wrong. I think this game would have been all over if it hadn't been for that massive kick on the black earlier. This game would have been all over. That was a huge turning point in this game. You felt the momentum just change, and look at the body language now. Stefan had his head on the floor no more than 3 frames ago. Literally sat there with his head on the floor. And now he's confident, he's sat forward, he's alert. Look at Carl. Defensive, arms crossed, pursing his lips, shaking his head. Negative thoughts going through his mind. Well, if I was a bookie, I'd have Stefan as a favourite now. Just given that body language alone. Carl looks almost resigned. He's still 6-5 ahead. I bet Stefan can't believe he's still in this game. You can see Greg Batten in the background through the window. I think he's on table. I think it might be table 5. It is indeed table 5, which is the one just through the window. Next to table 5 is one of our other stream tables, table 11, and the tables down from table 5, 4, and 3. Those are the other 2 stream tables. Massive break coming here. Carl looks ready to leap into action. And look what happens. And suddenly you get a bit of momentum. Pot 3 balls off the break. And life is suddenly a bit easier than it was earlier. Let's have a look at the overhead. Yeah, this view. What have we got? Well, the red goes along the rail, doesn't it? And I think he's going to have to open his account. I thought he was going to take a plant for a second, but obviously he feels he doesn't need to. He can pot this red, leave himself an angle on the one above the yellow to come back down table. Nice angle. So clearly the red doesn't pass into a right middle. I think he has enough angle here that he can stun across into this yellow and leave it for the middle. can indeed, that's perfect. And he's going to have to leave a double on the black. And we saw him miss a double earlier in the match when he was going through the doldrums, but, well, he is odds on to make this. Absolutely odds on. 1 to 20. Oh. And you hear a groan from him. That's incredible. Well, you heard me. I had him absolutely nailed on to make this. The old commentator's curse, they call that. Absolutely cursed him rotten. I think Carl is going to be forced into going defensive here. He's going to, well, looks like he's going to try and pop this one along the rail. Well, he got it. For me, I would have thought he'd have been laying a trap there. Surely he can't go. Surely he can't try and go game here, can he? I mean, it just feels like it's so easy to try and lay a trap behind the yellows on the side rail, move off the side cushion at the same time. I don't think he's got any such thoughts.
10 seconds.
I think he's going to try and move.
5.
So he does indeed lay a snooker, promote that ball off the rail, as we thought he would. Just doing it in his own sweet time. But this is a one cushion escape. Now it's going to be more of the same. That's gone about as bad as it could for Stefan, because now all Carl has to do is play the same shot to his other bad ball and just move it off the rail and lay another snooker. Carl always leaving his chalk on the rail. You have to be a little bit careful when playing those, when leaving your chalk, because if the ref thinks that you're putting it in some kind of position to give you advantage, maybe to mark a spot on the table, then she can call foul. So you always have to be a tiny bit careful when you leave your chalk. Double foul there from Stefan. Missed the ball, gone and off. But no different penalty. One free shot, one free visit, or one visit, sorry. Carl just going to plant one yellow onto the other. But it looks for the world that these two, the two yellows plant into middle, so it's literally just going to play the setup shot. Just playing position to get on the one at the bottom of the table, then he's going to, there he goes, looking at the plant now. Has to be made, but will not pose a problem. Nicely played, well controlled pace. Simple drag shot. And played that with side actually to come off the top rail. Back out for this yellow. May decide to play a very similar shot here actually. Oh my goodness, that That's incredible. That could have been curtains. He's been so fortunate there. Wow, I think he was absolutely furious with himself that he'd even gone into the black. He's been so fortunate to contact the black and so close to going in off. Can you imagine? I mean, if he's gone in off there, well, I think you'd have seen his head explode. That would have been an incredible swing. And he's just putting his hand up and apologising to Stefan Risidi. Can't believe I've managed to get on it. Paul Riley has beaten Matt Brearley 8-5. Currently, Sanjay Patel 7-5 up against Gav Robinson. Dylan Leary 7-6 up against Carl Sutton. Lee Clough 4-1 up against Liam White. These are all losers' side games, and there's all kinds of games going on at the moment. The winners' side is ongoing. Sean Story 2-1 up against Dave Fernandez. Shane Thompson 3-1 up against Mark Farnsworth. Rona McCarthy 3-0 against Mike King. Mark Fleming 2 each against Tom Cousins. Mark Boyle 3-1 up against John Rowe. Jordan Shepherd flying. He's 4-1 up against Dan Davey. I'm telling you now, that boy's going to win the event. All because I didn't have a bet on him yesterday morning at 25-1. He's just going to do it despite me. But then again, if I back him, he never wins. We have come to the conclusion that I am his biggest jinx, so I just tend to not back him anymore. I was going to have a sneaky one and not let him know. Next game on this table, Declan Brennan versus Scott Gillespie. Can't wait for that game. I haven't seen Declan Brennan play apart from on stream in a money match. But the little bits I have seen, well, I say I haven't seen him play. I watched him play a couple of frames late last night, around about 1:30. Look at this for a shot. Around about 1:30 last night, and he was playing John McAllister on the outside table. And he was sublime. What a deciding frame. So I'm really looking forward to that game. Scott Gillespie, we already know his class. 2 informed players. Be interested to see how the bookie calls that one as well. I don't think Stefan's in any kind of mood to try and play anything safe at the moment. And that was exactly what I meant. He's gone for a ridiculous pot in the bottom corner. All but potted it, rattled the jewels to come around off 3 cushions and try and knock his red out. But you just got the impression that no way he was in any kind of mood to try and find somewhere safe on the table. This has been a really good game, actually. We've seen some great pool all the way through the day, and this is just, I mean, it was all Carl Morris, wasn't it? It was a Carl Morris juggernaut to start with. And Stefan came back into the game, and then he's made a big error at 6-5 down to go all square. I realise now what that little that nuance when he puts his hand up. I thought it was frustration. I couldn't work it out because, you know, he keeps doing it when he's perfect. What it is, he's looking for his chalk. It's just, I think it's a little habit. He puts his chalk on the table. You'll notice it's always, or almost always, somewhere on the table. And he puts his hand up as if to say, "Where's my chalk?" Oh, you can see it. There it is. I couldn't see it in amongst all the writing. It's on the top rail. Oh, it's gone wrong. And it is. I mean, that chalk's probably the same chalk he was using in 1998 for that World Championship. Right? It's his lucky chalk. Look at it. There's barely anything left. There's like 4 grains on it. I reckon if he wins this event, he could invest in a new piece of chalk. I might buy him one, you know. I'm going to see if Kenny sells the old blue triangle and buy him a piece. So, yeah, another twist in the tail. I really didn't think we'd see Stefan come back to the table. So, long, straight yellow to top corner, test of queuing. Oh, that's no good. And now Stefan Risidi. Well, golden chance. Who would have thought this when he was smashing the balls around the table? Not 5 minutes ago. Dan Davies pulled back a frame against Jordan Shepard, and that's now 4-2. Mark Boyle 3-1 up against John Rowe. This is on the winners' qualification, by the way. Tom Cousins 3-2 up against Mark Fleming. Vernon McCarthy 3-0 against Mike Kingstil. Couldn't have got that one more wrong, could I? Shane Thompson 3-2 up against Mark Farnsworth. Well, I predicted a West Country win. Sanjay Patel still fighting through. 7-6 up against Gavin Robinson. Lee Clough 5-1 up against Liam White. He's had a real grind today, Lee Clough, hasn't he? Greg Batten is 4-1 up against Craig Waddingham. He's flying. Toby Bolt 2-0 up against Jez Graham. Arfin Dad just started against Craig Marsh. This is losers round 5, by the way. Whereas the game we're watching is still losers round 4. So these players are going to come off of this table and go straight onto another table. Sorry, the winner is. I can't call this anymore. I can't call it. I mean, Carl Morris should have had this finished ages ago. I have no idea how this match is still going on. Literally no idea. Well, this is done. This one's all over. This one's going hill. I know I've cursed him already, but lightning's not going to strike twice. And Danelius mentioned, I said at the top of the show, he's just reminded me that I said there would be fireworks. Fireworks there are. 7 frames each. Genuinely do not know how this game is still going on. And Carl just looking stoic. I mean, what else can he do? He's just probably thinking back through all of the missed chances. What he needs to do is put that negativity out of his mind now. And negativity's in there. He's just looked across at me and caught my eye and kind of raised his eyebrows and shaking his head as if to say, what's going on? I heard Stefan during the last break when Carl went to the toilet just say that, you know, when he's missed that double, basically can't have given Carl, or sorry, in the last frame when he's had a bit of a bash and knocked everything out, he can't have given Carl a much easier opportunity. Carl just not being able to take them. 7 frames all. And Carl's break has deserted him to the latter half of this match, so what can he do here? Players shake hands, sportsmen, like the true sportsmen they are. Oh my goodness. Didn't you just know that was going to happen? Didn't you absolutely know that was going to happen? Balls threatening both side bags. And, well, look at the reds. They're disgusting, aren't they? 5 of the reds tied up on side rails. The yellows look virtually unmissable. He's got one bad yellow on the table, and that's the one to the left of the red, the top right pocket. But he can move that red. He can play the yellow below it off of that red and open up the pocket. He can open his account with this one over the middle. I guess the only potential banana skins are this cluster of 3, how he takes them, what order he takes them. Also, this can go wrong, but I don't expect it to. You can play this rail first to the back of the red, open the pocket. Well, there is still a twist in the tail. That red, the stray red has come around the table. And it's knocked 2 yellows even worse than they were a second ago. It's gone in the line of one of the others. What's he seen here? Oh, wow. Great vision, great shot. Still got problems. He can stun into this yellow, but he has to land on it because he's running out of options, and that's horrible. Doesn't go left, doesn't go right, doesn't go in off anything. He can carry on potting. He's got this tricky ball up the rail, and all the time he knows that if he misses, what's he leaving? He's managed to pot it, and he's left an angle. And I don't think he can land on it. I think he has to knock it out. And he's looking now. Full ball contact on the red, or even any contact on the left-hand side of the red as we look at it. And he should have a shot. Here we go. Massive shot. He's missed it. Surely he's not on it, is he? Oh, I honestly didn't think he could land on this. If he's played to land on that, and he's landed on it, that is an amazing shot. But look what he's done here. He's pushed the red up, and covered the black. This is unbelievable. And here we go. I'm going to call it now. He's going to make it in the middle. Cushion first. You need to go a little bit straighter with a bit of right-hand side. So you come at the ball at an angle. He's going to make it. Oh my goodness. Is there anything left for this game to give? Is there anything left? Carl with time on his side. He'll be looking to develop, duck for cover. Nice shot. Clever too. Difficult to find a path. Needs to be 2 cushions. And even if he gets it, I'm not sure the black actually goes in the middle. I don't think the path is there. I'm not sure if we've got a better camera angle to see whether that goes to middle. Oh, it does. But he's got to hit it. Oh, he's been a touch fortunate there as well. He fouled. If there is anything like being fortunate when you foul, it seems like a double negative. But the black nearly went into the opposite pocket, so that would have been immediate loss of match. And as it is, he's still got some hope. It's all about this shot. If it all comes out, then it's going to be game over. And it has. It's all come out. Tiny bit of, well, the only ray of light. There's a tiny bit of traffic with the three reds kind of covering each other to the middle. And he's also got this red down the rail. So, Carl Morris, how's your bottle?
10 seconds.
The referee's called 10 seconds, so the one thing he doesn't want to do is time foul. And choosing to play the snooker, I think probably sensibly so, but the trouble is with these, every time you let Stefan get his cue behind the ball, then there is a element of danger that he could pot it. If he hits it, he could fluke it. That's unbelievable. Well, it could have been worse because he could have potted it, but look where it's gone. It's not one of the reds safe, and it's gone behind the other one. Just unbelievable. If Carl wants to attack from here, then he can play the red and try and go into them, but I don't see for 1 second that he's going to do that. He's just going to lay another snooker. He's going to move this ball off the side rail out into the open and lay another snooker, and then force Stefan into opening that pack. Absolutely no point in trying to force the issue from here. Well, he's not got the snooker. And he's just said to Viv, you're going to have to get your glasses on for this one, because I think he has to play knuckle, doesn't he? Doesn't he have to go into the knuckle? And the trouble is, I think that's a plant in the middle. It's so skinny, and he has to somehow try and hit it thin without going in off, which is virtually impossible. That's why it's such a clever shot from Carl. What about the bottom knuckle? He could go bottom knuckle and come up behind it. I don't think he obviously can't go top knuckle. Look, if he goes top knuckle and comes up behind the black, then the red's in the opposite middle.
5, 4, 3, 2.
How's he managed to do that? To take the black without... No, just unbelievable. This is I don't know how he's managed to take the black out without contacting with the red at all. And didn't go in off. And he's put the black on the bottom rail. So, another snooker. Carl's just going to promote this red over the pocket or into open play and lay another trap. And as I said before, every time that Stefan gets to the table, he's got some kind of chance of potting it. Well, I say that with tongue in cheek because this one's going to be hard enough just to hit. Well, this would be some escape. This would be, oh, I mean, it's ridiculous. Oh my goodness, I tell you what, he would have been close there. He would have been close there. Now then, one free shot, one visit. And Carl, I would imagine, would just bring the black out into open play and maybe push this red along the bottom rail, or he may just decide to land on the red. He may just play them for where they are, to be honest, and leave the black where it is, because he could probably do more damage. That's exactly what he's going to do. Push it over the pocket. And I'd suggest now he's just going to clear the table from top down, and he'll leave that red over the pocket, or the plant and then the red over the pocket to land on the black along the bottom rail. I think in the ideal world he would have liked to have moved the black, but the way it was situated, he would have, as I say, probably done more damage than good. And now, with the ball over the pocket, he's got the perfect ball to land on it. So, middle next. Run the white off the bottom rail and back up. And that's perfect. This should be an absolute formality now. But I'm sure I've said that before. So this plant, the only thing that could possibly go wrong is if the red ball comes away, but the way he's left it, I don't think that's ever going to happen. And stun this red, or just top it, sorry, off the side cushion. White across, right behind the black. And this, for Carl Morris, is unmissable. And what a game we have witnessed here. What a game. Unbelievable scene that was, just incredible. Hats off for Stefan Risidi for even mounting any kind of comeback, and that was just sublime. That had absolutely everything. I mean, I said earlier, I watched one of the best games I've commentated on for a long time, the Lee Clough game earlier on, and that game there, another one, just had absolutely everything. Went to the hill. I called it earlier that it was going to be fireworks, and fireworks there were. Hats off to Carl, and commiserations to Stefan. Amazing. So Lee's just going to grab Carl, get him to come in and do an interview. That was really something special. Well, I'm going to go and catch my breath. And I can tell you that I'll be catching my breath ready for Declan Brennan versus Scott Gillespie. Thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks very much for watching. And we will be back in the, well, Lee Kendall will be in the interview room in just a couple of minutes. We'll be back with the action in the main arena in probably just about 15 minutes. Speak to you soon.
With Carl Morris, congratulations on a good win.
Thank you.
8-7, close one.
Yeah, to be honest, it started off well. It couldn't have started any better, to be honest, and I went 5-1 up. Then all of a sudden, I got slightly out of position, but I still had a black that was very potable. And I believe that I got it on target and that, but I got a massive kick on that. And all of a sudden, it just went for me. And I've been playing pool for, nearly 30 years now. And I said to myself, I should know better. What happened in the past, you can't change the past, you've just got to focus on the future. But it goes to show that even when you've been playing for that long, it hits the nerves and the easy clearances suddenly become difficult. And in all honesty, I think towards the end, I think he deserved to win it more than I did, the way that he came back. And he was so unlucky on that black snuggling himself. And although I had 2 sets, I just couldn't finish it. I had to get another tee and make sure.
So, talking of comebacks, you've been out of the game for 6 years, is it?
7, 8 years, yeah.
7, 8 years. What made you come back, and have you got the same hunger as you had all those years ago?
I think it's just a combination of things. I think one of the main reasons I gave up was because it's nothing to do with Paul. It was my parents and that, and the fact that a lot of my family seemed to basically die young. And when I lost both my parents, I had a little girl, Olivia. James wasn't born yet, but we knew he was on his way. And I thought, well, if I'm going to go the same way, I want to enjoy that time at home with him. So that's why I quit Paul, and I pretty much quit everything apart from my property business and just focus on the kids. And I was a dad for about 5, 6 years, 7 years actually, yeah. And then, of course, a couple of weeks ago, James started going to school. So I thought, maybe I'll have a little bit more time. I'll come back and see how I go. And in all honesty, when I came back, the novelty, I was really upset. I was really getting some great results and all that. But then I've trailed off a little bit. And I think for this event, I've started to come back a bit. So I think when I get to the latter stages, that's my trouble. I don't like playing at the beginning. I like to play at the end. But of course, you can get to the end without playing at the beginning.
Just going back to the game, I mean, that was a fascinating game to commentate on. It had everything. And one of the noticeable things was the body language, because at 5-1, I think Stefan's sat back in his chair, and he's got his head between his legs, and he doesn't want, nothing's going right for him.
Yeah.
And then you get that kick, and then about 4 or 5 frames later, I can't remember exactly what happened, but there was a bit of adversity on your side, and you've sat back in the corner, and you've got your arms crossed, and you're shaking your head, and he's sat up bolt right, eager to go, and it was just amazing how you see that momentum shift in a game. That game had absolutely everything.
Yeah, it was a bit topsy-turvy, wasn't it? Yeah, and in all honesty, I don't really want to go through too many of my I'd rather just try and get the match over with before I start getting the shakes.
It's funny because at the start of the game, I predicted fireworks, and there were fireworks all the way through. It was incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why I like to play pool, because for things like that. Also, I do tend to end up losing in the decider, so it's quite nice to actually win one.
So your next match is against Dylan Leary. Have you ever played Dylan? before? Good player.
Is he,
I think he's from a snooker background. He plays on the world rules side, but
does he,
tough opponent for you.
yeah, but to be honest, because since I quit pool and all that, I've not really followed pool. I've not done anything. I've just focused on being a dad and all that. So a lot of these youngsters, up and coming youngsters, or people that have just recently gone into pool in the last 7, 8 years.
He's older than you. He's older than me, I think.
Oh, is
He's not a
he?
youngster. You like that one though.
Well, I've seen his name, but I'm not sure.
He's a
who he
good
is.
player. He's a
Yeah,
good player.
I know all the faces, I know all the names, but some of the latest ones I've not matched him up yet.
Yeah.
I'll soon find out.
You will.
Just on a personal note, I just wanted to say that it was an absolute pleasure commentating on you there. And I said during the show that I don't know what it was. There's something magical about watching you play, because it's kind of a reminiscing thing for me, because I remember watching you play on TV 20 years ago, and seeing you make this comeback into the game, and me being able to commentate on you. As I say, there's something magical about it. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I just hope that I don't. Well, no, actually, it's quite good for you as a commentator, just those kind of games.
It is.
But my personal point is, I don't want you to have anything to commentate about. Just great clearance, great 8-1, game over, goodbye.
Yeah.
But it's been a pleasure.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Keep going,
Thank you very much.
and we'll see you
Good
in the later stages.
Yeah, see you.
Okay, well, thanks very much. We're going to get straight on with the next match, and we'll get going.
Yeah, Scott Gillespie against the Irishman Declan Brennan. There's 2 informed players. That promises to be a really exciting game.
I mean, Declan has just come on the scene, and he's taking big scalps, and like you say, it will be a good matchup.
Yeah.
So we'll get straight on with it. We're running a little bit behind schedule, but it's all good for you guys. You get to watch more pool tonight. So we'll restart the video in a moment.